Hey Tech Heads, Fina here. In today's video, I want to take a short look at the e-C4, which is a car that I actually own. And the reason I want to take a closer look at it is because there are a lot of things that I found out about this car that I didn't find in any of the reviews I went through prior to purchasing it. Now, I did actually record a video in the car showing all of these things, but I was having some sound issues. And I'm now actually out of the country for a while and am unable to record another video with the sound. So I decided to just go through all of these things, tell you about the stuff that the other reviewers will not tell you about, so that if you're considering getting the e-C4, you might think again. Number one is infotainment. So here it's just very underdeveloped. So one thing is that the Android Auto does not start automatically every time you get back in the car. You have to set it back up again. You have to get back into it. That's kind of irritating and frustrating. On top of that, you get a 10-inch screen, but you actually only get 7 inches of that are usable. And this is because on each side of the screen, you have these little temperature panels that show you the temperature in the car, which is kind of stupid. And I don't need 2 of them, first of all, and just like find a better place to put that. So anyways, as a result of these 2 temperature panels, which I have checked if I could get rid of them, and I haven't been able to do this so far. I don't think you can actually. I think that's just the way that the infotainment is. But anyway, as a result, everything is small. If you are doing navigation, if you have camera images, all of that other stuff that you might be doing on the screen, everything is just shrunk because of these stupid temperature panels. So it's just really untapped potential. Next thing is the car control app. So this app actually only has 3.1 star rating on the Google Play Store, which is not surprising at all to me. Because I'll be honest with you, the app does not work more often than it does work. Okay, I'm always having trouble connecting it to the car, connecting to the Stellantis server. I don't know the last time I was able to start my AC through the app. That just typically doesn't work. And I just feel like it's incredibly amateur because this app has been on the market for 2+ years and Citroen still hasn't been able to actually make it do what it's supposed to do. Then there's the Onboard Computer, which is actually quite useless because there's some information that you would like to get from the Onboard Computer and it does not give you that. It doesn't show you the consumption or miles driven since your last charge. It just has these 2 gauges that you have to manually zero whenever you get in order to track your consumption for the journey. So I don't know, maybe bring a notebook or something. You could take notes and go old school. But again, I just feel like this is a function that the onboard computer should have, and it just doesn't. Next are the seats. So I have these premium seats in the Shine version. They're not the massage version, I don't have that, but they are still supposed to be premium Shine version seats. And they're actually quite uncomfortable, which I will be honest, this is something that I didn't really notice until I was driving the car for, an extended amount of time. And I'm just unable to find a truly comfortable position. And I do think this is partially because of the weird tilt of the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is very tilted backwards and it's just so you just have a weird tilt, and as a result I think, but it's not the only reason, but I think it's part of the reason that it's just really hard to find a comfortable position. So if you're going on a road trip, inevitably you'll be just kind of squirming around trying to adjust the seat, which is another thing. The car is quite narrow, so when you try to stick your hand between the pillar and the seat to adjust it, it's pretty tough to get in there. So that's another thing, you're constantly trying to adjust it, but it's hard to adjust. It's really impossible to find a good position. You have the weird steering wheel tilt. On top of that, the top of the seat has the headrest sort of pointed forward a little bit. So you just end up kind of just being uncomfortable. Yeah, so premium, but not really. Some other little things that might not be a big deal by themselves, but once it adds up, it gets kind of frustrating. One of these things is I do have a double trunk floor, which is awesome, I think. but there's no way to, if you're like loading stuff into the bottom floor, you can't keep the top panel lifted up. So you have to either hold it and load with one arm, or maybe have somebody hold it for you while you're loading stuff if you need both arms. I just wish there was like a little hook you could, hook it onto, and it would hold that thing up instead of you having to lift it up every time to get in there. So that's kind of frustrating. Another thing are the buttons in front of my steering wheel. So if I want to do like heated steering wheel or heated glass or anything like that, there are these buttons I can push, but they're hidden under the like left side of the steering wheel to where I can't see them when I'm driving. And there's like 4 buttons next to each other, which are the same. So like trying to feel around for that while you're driving, it's not really safe, It's not safe, it's not fun. And I don't know how I'm supposed to tell them apart. Maybe you'll get used to that after like years of driving, but they're just not even easy to reach. I just wish you could be able to like see them while you're driving. That'd be nice. And it's the same story with the start button. It's just hidden behind the steering wheel. Now this one, to me, again, it's not a huge deal. This is kind of like a small pain. But once you add all these things up, all these small pains, they kind of add up to be a bigger pain in the ass. I also want to give an honorable mention to the steering. So it has actually a great chassis, but the steering is really kind of tragic because you get 0 feedback from the wheels. So say you're taking a sharp turn, sharp corner or something, you don't actually know how much or how little the car is going to turn until you do it, because again, you're not getting that feedback. And that's something that I have gotten used to for the most part. But I just think it's much more comfortable if you do get the feedback, because you feel much more like you're in sync with your car and like your actual, partners in crime, or how to say it. So that's just, I don't love it. Yeah. Now, so I'm not just a negative Nancy. There is, of course, good stuff about the e-C4 as well. It actually is a very comfortable ride. Like the driving experience is very comfortable, though not really exciting. It's kind of boring, to be honest, because you don't get that feedback, first of all. That's one of the reasons. But it is a pretty comfortable ride. The HGA type assists and the adaptive cruise control work perfectly. I'm guessing that this must have been designed by somebody else than the person that designed the rest of the systems in the car. The design of the car itself, especially from the outside, it's very nice. So the car looks great, and that's wonderful. And some of the things really do work really nicely, but that almost makes the stuff that doesn't make sense and that doesn't work well, almost makes it that much more frustrating. Yeah, so I won't go and say that the e-C4 is just all bad. It's not. But the really good stuff makes the bad stuff seem that much worse. And overall, I just feel like it's an unfinished car. I feel like they didn't put that much thought into some things. I feel like some things are unfinished. That's kind of frustrating. That's it. I just wanted to do a quick run through of some of the frustrating features of the e-C4 that I personally did not know about prior to getting the car, because none of the other reviewers really talked about it, and I don't know why, but it's been, kept hush-hush. So I wanted to share it with anyone who is considering getting the e-C4 so that you are fully informed of the pros and the cons. If you like our content, please do consider subscribing. Definitely give us a like. Comment what you think about it. Let me know if you have an e-C4 or if you're thinking about buying it. Maybe you're going to think twice now. And also follow us on Twitter. We're posting daily news from about electromobility, so all good stuff there. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you next time.